It's the night before Christmas, and Santa's workshop has been ruined. That's right, as a little Christmas treat, I decided to go back into PowerWash Simulator 1, because the second one I haven't seen get any updates lately, at least as far as seasonal stuff. But the PowerWash Simulator 1 had some great little winter-themed ones, and I figured what better place to start than Santa Claus's completely ruined workshop. And let's see, I've actually got this. I got like all the power washers, so I currently have it on. I currently have it on the big one. It's been a while since I played this one, so let's see. Okay, there we go. Long one. Yeah, because I've been playing the second one on the channel for a bit now, and I just felt like you need some Christmas spirit. So, I figure let's start back here by the door and work our way outward towards the main area. It's been a while since I did this level in particular, so I can't wait to see, like, how it got this bad, because this is some next level grind. Like, look at that. That is a completely separate color underneath all of that. That is, like, mud or chocolate pudding or something in there. My gosh. And then there's, like, layers of paint and stuff over top of it. Oh, there's one door down. Employee entrance. Oh, that makes way too much sense. So yeah, all I remember about this one is basically, hey, we heard you're good with a power washer, and Santa's workshop needs a rinse down immediately, or Christmas isn't gonna be happy for the rest of us. Which, I mean, you know what? Fair. These guys work hard, they deserve a clean space after prepping for like a year straight. Alright, let's see. Did I get most of the... Oh, the handle's still a little dirty in some places. Let's see, get it from the bottom maybe. Yep, there we go. Get the top of that sign. This hinge good. There we go. Okay. Now we're cooking with it. Come on, get the rest of that one. There we go. Archway's good. Door frame's good. Let's start with this part of the floor first, like especially around the rug, and then I'll move upwards. I can tell you guys this now. I'm gonna be exhausted by the time. I'm actually recording this pretty close to Christmas Eve, and I'll be honest, I kind of just needed something fun, simple, relaxing that wouldn't stress me out. As much as I enjoyed the violence and chaos of the Guns and Nuns Storming Hell demo that I played a little while ago, I have been working pretty much non-stop for the past couple, actually for the past week, not even just the past couple of days, past week or so. There we go, that's better. And yeah, I've got a lot of stuff I need to get done after I'm done with this recording. I've got to work on, let's see, I've got to wrap gifts because I'm going to see my extended family for Christmas Eve, so I got to get all their presents wrapped up. I've got a lot of baking to do for Christmas and Christmas Eve. I posted some pics before already on the channel for like some stuff I've made so far. There we go, let's get that out of the lamp. And I'll probably post a couple more after Christmas, just to show the final, like the final roster for everything that I made. Thinking about making some, since it's Christmas, I kind of felt like cookies this year. I kind of alternate depending on what I want to do. But I decided to do cookies this year, and I made some. Actually, with my dad and I have a tradition every year where we make these spiced molasses raisin cookies. They're some of my favorite, and I look forward to them all year. And we got a lot of family members, friends, and everybody who's addicted to them. So they very much look forward to it as well. My dad has straight up admitted that he has people at work who ask him whenever he's gonna start making them. He's kind of glad he's retired now, so he doesn't have to deal with that as much. But yeah, we already made a bunch of those, so I'm gonna be bringing in some of those to work. Also, he and I made a batch of it without raisins for my partner and his dad because the two of them don't like raisins, which, understandable. Not everybody likes them. I don't mind them, honestly. I like a good oatmeal raisin cookie, and I think that in those cookies, the sweetness of the raisins really helps. It works well against all the spices and flavors in the cookie. But yeah, so we've already got those made. And then I'm making some amaretti cookies, which are cookies made with almond flour and a lot of egg whites. Mostly because my mom has celiac. I've mentioned that before. She's got a ton of allergies. But also just because I like experimenting and trying new recipes. And I've made meringue plenty of times. Like, I love making little meringues. Those are easy. Well, I guess not super easy if you're not used to working with egg whites, but they're perfect. Found a nice little hack spot. But they're easy enough to work with once you've had enough practice. Come on, which ones aren't clean yet? Clean, darn you, clean. Yeah. At least they have super jumps in this game, which is something they toned down at least a little bit in the second one. I forgot they had super jumps. But yeah, so I'm making amaretti cookies to bring to my family for Christmas. And then I'm also gonna see my cousin, my aunt, my grandmother, if she's feeling up to it. Gonna go see all of them for Christmas Eve, and then spend Christmas Day with my immediate family. Okay, what am I missing? Any of the coats? So, my cousin has been vegan for a while, so I've tried before to always make sure to bring some vegan options for her. Okay, you're good. You're good. So I'm thinking about making I made these for her before, but like some Oreos wrapped in chocolate chip cookie dough. And this year I'm adding some, sorry, my voice is a little bit messed up because I've been talking to people all day. Like I said, I haven't had a day off in at least a week at this point of recording this, and I've still got at least a couple more to go. But yeah, I'm gonna be... that's where it is. Switch to the stubby gun real quick. There we go, last little bit. So that's good. Okay, cool. They've got all of that. But I'm gonna make her some... I have this vegan cookie dough that I make, and I've made her this sort of thing before. But it's basically Oreos wrapped in chocolate chip cookie dough and then baked. And technically, because of the recipe I use for the cookie dough, since it's vegan, it's safe to eat the cookie dough raw, but I like baking them because then you basically get two cookies in one. And this year I'm adding some caramel chips to it because she actually got married to her longtime partner not too long ago. Let's see, what am I missing on these stairs? There we go. And he really likes caramel, so I figured I'd add a little something so they both could enjoy them together when there's leftovers. So yeah, I've got a lot of baking to do. If I have the time and or the energy, I might bring in I make these little mini pumpkin pie bites that I've brought into work before. Might make some of those for my coworkers too. Like I said, we'll see if I have the energy or not. But yeah, whenever I end up baking, I'll definitely take some pictures and share them with you guys so you can see what all I made. And if anybody ever wants a recipe, feel free to hit me up in the comments or anything. I am more than happy to share. Baking and cooking in general are such special things for me. I like to say that there are a few hobbies I have that I just really, really love and love sharing with people. And basically, they kind of go in this order: baking, gaming, writing, and actually, believe it or not, I like fashion design. I'm not really good at drawing myself. I tend to, let's see. I don't have this one in the second game, at least not yet. This is the Trident. Basically, it's like you have combined the red nozzle with a whole bunch of other washers, so you get more coverage, but you still get that distance and that power. It's really nice. There we go. Oh boy, this is a lot. So, I think I still want to start back here and kind of work my way forward, so I guess let's start by going this way. And actually, since I'm working on the ceiling right now, I got an extra long extension. Yeah, that cuts through it super easy. You don't get as much coverage with this one, but you make up for it with the reach and the power, because you see how that all just scrubs away instantly, as opposed to the yellow one there. So yeah, that works really well. I just got to move my hand a little bit more for that one. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I was saying that I actually really like fashion design, and I can't really draw too well by hand. Like, I can do some rough sketches, but I definitely do better with digital art. And I do my best work when I have a base model to work off of. I'm kind of sad that it got taken down, but there was this app that I used to use all the time. It was on my iPhone. Yes, I have an iPhone. Please don't crucify me in the comments. But yeah, I used to use it a lot because it basically you could basically take a base design and basically pick a style of clothing. So or like a article of clothing: pants, jacket, shirt, dress, skirt, etc. Even jumpsuits were on there, so it was pretty decently diverse. And then you could go and add little preloaded assets to it, like bows, buttons, zippers, basically all sorts of stuff. I think for these I would be fine with the yellow one, just because these are a bit closer. I'll save the trident for the roof, because I want to try and get some more surface area on these guys. But yeah, it was a lot of fun and really easy to use, and I would kind of use it to get a base design going, and I like that they made it easy for if you wanted to go in and alter stuff, you could resize just about anything. You could go in with like this big area eraser and make really cool cutout designs with it. And then you could port it to yourself as a JPEG or a PNG. So then it was really easy to put it in other apps where I could add textures, colors, all sorts of things to it. And I might share some of those designs I've made before. They actually, anybody who knows my private accounts on, well, not really private, but like my more casual accounts on Tumblr would probably recognize a few of the designs because I use them as it, because like I said, I also really enjoy writing. I use them as clothing designs for characters and stories and whatnot. Well, kind of got turned around for a sec there for some reason. All right, let's take this extension back down to just the long one. But yeah, I've used that for designs before, and then I've got one of my friends that I met through writing and through Tumblr. Her name is Eleanor Rose 123. If you should really go check her out on Tumblr at some point. She's a phenomenal artist, really amazing writer. I love co-writing with her and everything. But yeah, I've commissioned her more than once to. By the way, she's actually the one who drew my avatar picture that I use for my profile and my thumbnail and everything. So yeah, she's really good, and she always is. I always love watching when she can take the designs I've come up with and draw the characters that I've made in those designs. And yeah, I have fun with it. I'm not the best at drawing in general. Like, she's really phenomenal, and I love to see all the things that she comes up with. But yeah, I still like making my own stuff occasionally. I need to find another app or see if that app I used to use ever got reinstated or they had a new version of it that came out or anything. If they did, I would definitely love to get back into that, or if I could at least find something where I could download some like blank body or mannequin templates. I could work off of that. I'm just really, really terrible at drawing bodies is my biggest weakness with art. If I have a base figure to work off of, then I'm usually not too bad. It's just, getting that base is the hard part for me. What am I missing on Santa's freaking list? Hello? Is there just so much naughtiness on this thing? There we go. I was gonna say, is there so much naughtiness that it won't come off? Let's see. Let's take a little peek at his naughty list. Surprisingly, I'm not on there. Hooray! Poor Marmalade, though. Already cursed with a name like Marmalade, and no wonder you're on the naughty list. I think I see Bean. And Coffee Bean? Okay, gonna say this now. Y'all parents, stop naming your kids after, like, just regular everyday items. They're gonna get so bullied in school, and if you don't care about that, then you really suck as a parent. But I want my baby's name to be unique. Yeah, you can make it unique without making them a laughingstock and making their life miserable. That is how you get them to resent you. They won't feel special, they'll feel like an outcast. Also, I just noticed Krampus's name on there. Makes sense. Wow, whoever Baxter was, extra nice. Wow. I see a few people. Oh, I see a couple people who got moved like Marmalade. Is that say coffee? Or what's that? I can't read what that says. Huh? Not as bad as Coffee Bean, at least. I love the little world building stuff they slip in. I think I said that before with the second PowerWash Simulator game when I was playing it before. But it's little things like that that make the world feel just lived in enough that you can really get into it if you're the type of person who loves the world building. It's vague enough that you can form your own mental picture about how everything is done, but it's concrete enough that you could definitely really like see that they put a lot of effort into it. Let's see, go ahead and get these candy canes. Get the last of this railing. There we go. And can I get the top of that one from... darn it. I fell off. There we go. Let's see if this is... Darn it, still not enough. Still like a tiny little bit that's just out of reach. Ah well, at least I can get the top of this guy. Go ahead and get this guy cleaned off. And also that gives me... Oh, there we go, got him. Nice. This gives me a good vantage point for the top of the railings. But yeah, this game definitely, the lore is... let's do... Yeah, there we go. Just go ahead and get the side of that candy cane while I'm over here since I can reach that. But yeah, the lore is well thought out enough that you can see that they put effort into it. But it's not so much that I think that I would be honestly very, very shocked if there was a lot of, like, how to put it, like, a lot of fan fiction or stuff like that for PowerWash Simulator. I don't doubt that there's none at all, but I don't think it's to the point of, like, Final Fantasy or a lot of those really highly story-driven games. Maybe a lot of role-play stuff more than anything, if I had to guess. Oh, and for anybody who's wondering why I'm not really using the soap in this one, like I do occasionally in the second game, it's because the soap has a limited amount to it in the first game, which I've said before that I'm very glad they changed that in the second one. Okay, there we go. Because, yeah, you basically have to pay for each individual thing of soap that you use here. Okay, I think that's about... Okay, yeah, that's all one piece. Perfect. Oh, nice. Got the little railing there. Okay. But yeah, it was kind of my least favorite thing to do here. I tended to save it for if there was some really bad grime, like if I couldn't just rinse it away with one of the basic nozzles, or like rust especially was a big one I would use it for. I would try to save it for the stuff like that that was really, really, really bad. Okay, let's see. Get the side of all these guys. And let's go ahead and get the back of the Nutcracker too. Poor guy's been through enough. I got you, soldier, don't worry. You'll be battling Rat Kings again in no time. Oh, that's actually almost a perfect half and half. Let me just... Nope, I ruined it. I was trying to do like a perfect half and half across his face, but I got just a little bit too far off center. Oh well, at least he's getting clean, and that's what matters. Poor guy needs it. Oh cool, got him nice and clean now. What am I missing? Ah, there we are. There's the dirty side of the lamp. Still very nostalgic for this game. I know it's not that old, but I kind of played through everything on it a long time ago, and I did I have gone back and replayed it a couple of times in the past. Especially as they added new seasonal content to it, I would drop in and check that out occasionally. I said before that I really, really love the Final Fantasy VII stuff that they included in here. And especially since that was a free one, you don't even need to pay to have that one on there, I think. They also had the Tomb Raider stuff, which was a lot of fun, getting to go in and clean up Lara Croft's mansion and all of that. Wow, this is the door to Santa's office. I wonder if he's been spared from whatever mess befell this place. Maybe I'll go back and check the messages afterwards. Let's see. Get the bottom of that handle so it's a little bit cleaner. There we go. Santa, you want to come out and lend a hand maybe, or are you still out delivering presents? You know, I gotta wonder, how quickly can you get all of this done? Can you get it done in the same amount of time it takes Santa to deliver presents all over the world? Are you your own type of holiday hero at that point? Oh, he's got his own little post box from all the kids writing him letters. That's really sweet. Okay, about done with this upper level. Gotta get the last bit of the flooring and the walls. Let's see. Go behind here. I will say that the background noises are more than a little, I guess, disconcerting. I think I keep hearing the very faint mewling of the reindeers or something like that. And it weirds me out when I do. Heck, a lot of grime on the bottom here. Let's go ahead and blast that away. Get stuff from this side too. Oh yeah, all sorts of it along the side. There we go. Postbox, nice and clean. I'm curious, do you guys call it a postbox or a mailbox? I've always called them mailboxes because that's all I've ever heard them referred to as in the South. But I know like different areas, like they have specific, like they call it all of it postbox, or I'll sometimes call something very specific a postbox. Like if it's something that's actually at the post office, I'll call it that. But yeah, just let me know. I'm curious if anybody's got any different vernacular they use for those. Okay, let's see. Get the fish getting the bottom of this guy. Alright, I think that's about all I can get from down here on the floor. Okay. Okay, yep. Got pretty much all of it. Now, upwards. I said upwards. If I had fallen off, I would have laughed so hard at that. So I'm wondering, do you guys have any, like, specific holiday traditions? Not even specifically just Christmas, but anything that you like to do either with your family, with your friends, partner, or just by yourself? I know everybody's kind of got different traditions. I think I've said it before that for my family in general, like, I get together with my more extended family on Christmas Eve, and then I spend Christmas Day lounging around with my family, eating junk food, wearing comfy, lazy clothing, pajamas for my sister. She loves having a pajama day. And then as much as we can, we try to eat everything on disposable dishes and silverware and disposable cups and all that, because my sister is the one, she still lives with my parents, but she's the one in charge of cleaning up the dishes, so we give her a break for the day by using all disposable items, paper plates and whatnot, so she doesn't have to do any cleaning. And nobody does any cooking either. If there's any leftovers or anything, we might heat those up, but nope, no dishes for her to worry about. She gets one full day off. But yeah, we just kind of lounge around in comfy clothes, eat junk. Whoa! Well, I guess I can go ahead and get this while I'm here. Happy little accidents. But yeah, we lounge around, eat junk food, and just generally enjoy being together. Watch movies, watch TV shows, watch silly YouTube videos, things like that. And also, one of the things I've taken to making for my family that I bring every year is basically, it's kind of like, whoops. Well, now I fell. Whoops. But it's basically a cinnamon. It originally was a cinnamon roll French toast bake recipe that I found, but I modified it. And yes, I can make cinnamon rolls from scratch, but this is kind of a lazy, prep it on Christmas Eve and bring it over Christmas Day sort of thing. So it's basically, like I said, a French toast bake sort of thing, but with cinnamon rolls. Though instead now I found that I like using orange rolls for it better because one of the ingredients in it is blueberries. Okay, yeah, the nutcrackers are both good. Oh, I missed his candy cane. I need to rethink the wording on that. Oh boy. But yeah, basically, the recipe is really simple. If you guys want to try it, let me know. And I'd love to see your reactions to it. But basically, you take some cinnamon rolls, or in my case, I like orange rolls more than the cinnamon rolls. Like I just get like 2 tubes of Pillsbury rolls and cut them up into pieces. Usually what I do is I slice them in half down the middle, and then I slice each of those into thirds, and that's usually small enough. And as you're chopping them, it actually helps to have the mix for it prepared. I actually make it all in a little, I usually get these disposable 8x8 pans. Like I said, no dishes for my sister to worry about on Christmas, even if I'm the one bringing it over. And if it is, then I bring it home with me so she doesn't have to wash it. But, yeah, basically, the mixture is to, and again, mix it in the pan if you want to save on dishes, but take, let's see, size of the eggs kind of varies, and also based on how eggy you like your food. I personally really like it with lots of eggs, but 2 to 3 eggs, depending on the size of your eggs. Beat those together with, hold on one sec. Let me pull up, like, the modified notes I made for this recipe while I'm still kind of aimlessly spraying everything down. Actually, let me switch to my long nozzle again. There we go. And then, that one. But yeah, my modified version of the recipe is... darn it. Sorry. I accidentally clicked off the screen for a second there. But yeah, use 2 to 3 eggs. Depending on how eggy you like it, you can even go to 4. But I find like 2 to 3, like 3 if I'm using just regular large eggs, or 2 if I'm using jumbo eggs, which I tend to get those a lot just because when I make sunny side up eggs, I like the eggs to be a whole meal. But, yeah, so 2 of those and 2 to 3 eggs. About anywhere from half to 3/4 of a cup of milk. Again, depending on how many eggs you use, you might need more or less. Just getting a good liquid ratio here. so that everything feels like it's coated. Then 2 to 3 teaspoons of vanilla, depending on how sweet you like it. I also like to, oops, sorry, I keep clicking out of the window while I'm busy looking at my recipe for it. And yes, I do have to look back at recipes because I have like I can remember the basics of how to do it, but I always have to double check my ingredient amounts or I'm gonna overestimate something. But yeah, I like adding just a little bit of sugar, like a teaspoon or so. But you can leave that like teaspoon or two of sugar depending on how sweet you like it. And then a, a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. I kind of do like big heaping tablespoons, so take my advice with a grain of salt there. But yeah, big tablespoon of cinnamon. Whisk it all together. Again, you can just do this in the pan if you want to. And then afterwards, as you're cutting up the cinnamon, orange roll, whatever flavor you want to use pieces, you dump it in. I actually got really far compared to where I started at. Nice. Go back up here real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, as you cut the different pieces of French toast, orange, not French toast, cinnamon roll, orange roll, whatever, then go and dump it directly into the pan with the mixture. Little, like I said, little 8x8 square works perfectly for this, but you can use maybe like an 8-inch cake pan if you want as well. They both work really well, but I just like like I said, I get these cheap little 8x8 foil pans from the grocery store, so that way I can just throw it away when I'm done, or if I leave it at my parents' house for my dad and my sister to eat more of it later, then they can help themselves. But yeah, dump it, just like put it in there, and then once you have all of your... Oh, nice, we cleared out a picture frame. But once you have everything chopped up, mix it all together in the pan. Oh, go ahead and get this cleared off. There you go, got it. But yeah, mix it all together inside the pan, and then also mix in, and I kind of go a little bit heavier than what the original recipe suggested, so about 2 cups of blueberries. What I usually recommend is mix maybe like a cup to a cup and a half of it in with the cinnamon roll pieces and the egg mixture. And then afterwards, take the remaining cup to half a cup and put them on top, just because the blueberries help add a lot of extra sweetness and moisture to what's otherwise a very bready, heavy dish. And having it staggered throughout keeps it from feeling too dense or too overwhelming, too dry, anything like that. So yeah, you want a nice little even distribution of blueberries in the middle and on the top. So that's the way I recommend doing it. And then set the icing that the rolls came with aside. You can of course make your own if you prefer doing that, but I mean, hey, free icing. Not that icing's really that hard to make. Did I get all of these? I don't remember. I think I got all the major ones at least. All right. Let's go back a little bit. And got that one. Still working on the beams. Okay, I think I pretty much got everything that was around this area. So let's start working our way over across here. But yeah, basically set the icing aside, save it for when everything's done baking, because like I said, free icing. And I'll switch back to yellow for this part. And then what you're basically going to do at that point is stick it in an oven that's been basically like whatever rolls you use, preheat the oven to the temperature it said for the packaging on those. And then you're gonna cook it generally about 40-45 minutes. And what I typically do is I let it cook uncovered at first. Like, I let it cook, say, 30-ish minutes uncovered, and then last little 10 to 15 minutes, I'll go in and I'll cover it with some foil to keep it from getting too brown on top before it finishes. And then, yeah, take it out, let it sit for just like a little bit, maybe like just 5 minutes or so. And then once it's slightly cool but still nice and hot, because you don't want, that's when you want to pour the icing on, because you don't want it to melt too quickly, because it is still like very basic icing. But yeah, that's a nice little simple make ahead dish. I always prefer to make it ahead the night before, so I'll make it on Christmas Eve after I get back home from visiting with my extended family for Christmas Eve dinner. And I can make it pretty quickly and efficiently, and then just leave it in, gotta move the, oops, wrong thing. There. Let's leave you here out of the way for now. I might grab you later, we'll see. But yeah, I make that ahead of time, and I just leave it in the fridge overnight, so that way the cinnamon roll or orange roll bits can absorb all the flavor and moisture from the milk and egg mixture. And then when I head over the next morning to go see my family, I just let them know when I'm on my way. They'll go ahead and get the oven preheating, because they've got kind of an old oven and it takes a while. Or I'll get it preheated once I get there, either way. And then yeah, we tend to let it sit and bake in the oven while we open Christmas gifts. Because like I said, it takes 40 to 45-ish minutes anyway. And meanwhile, my mom tends to go in and have her own little stuff she makes for breakfast, because I haven't found any good gluten-free cinnamon rolls that work very well with this recipe. They all kind of end up either mushy or dense, so I definitely need to experiment more with that part. But she's got some stuff she likes to eat just fine. Sometimes she'll have some oatmeal or grits. And then sometimes she has some gluten-free cinnamon rolls that she likes for herself, that she can just, they're frozen ones that she can just heat up in the microwave that aren't too terrible. Yeah, since I'm down here, might as well go ahead and get the bottom of these guys. But yeah, she has her own stuff that can heat up pretty quickly, while my dad, my sister, and I have our own thing to eat. And sometimes she'll even, because like I said, we kind of just binge on junk food and pre-made stuff all day, she'll even like help herself to whatever sweets or cookies I've made for her. So she's probably gonna end up eating any leftover Almaretti cookies that don't get eaten at Christmas Eve. I've also made her other stuff in the past. Like I said, I like making meringues, because that's a really good gluten-free dessert that turns out pretty well with some effort, but not a ton, honestly. And they're not overly expensive to make. They're really just egg whites, sugar, vanilla, and a little bit of salt. So I imagine these will be pretty similar, though the almond flour should add a little bit more body and texture, so they'll probably be more filling than the meringues would be. But I've made her other stuff before. Like, I've made her, one of her favorite things to have is flan. Though I really don't think I'm gonna have the energy to make flan for her this year. I made it for her before, though, and she always really enjoys it. She's actually asked for that for her birthday before. And again, I have no problem with making it for special occasions. But I save it for special occasions because it takes a lot out of me to make it. Custards, I love them. I love to eat them. But they are so stressful to make. There's like so many little things you have to pay attention to. And if you don't pay attention to every little thing, you end up with just really sweet scrambled eggs. And yes, that has happened to me multiple times. But it's worth it when it makes her really happy, but I'm just not gonna have the energy for it this time since I've been working so much at the arcade lately and I haven't had really a lot of time to do much of anything. I actually had to go grocery shopping after work. Mind you, this was on the Sunday before Christmas. So yes, the grocery store was an absolute nightmare. Shelves were picked pretty clean. Only the more expensive stuff that you really don't like having to pay for because you know you're mostly paying for a name brand and it sucks was left. But, you know, you have to get it, so you kind of just eat the cost of it. Case in point, the almond flour I got for the amaretti cookies. That hurt. Almond flour is so frickin' overpriced. You think I'm joking? I need like 5 cups of it for the recipe, and the bags only come in like 1 pound to 3 or 4 pound ratios. And the best deal I could get was basically like 32 ounces of almond flour was $12.99, and I still had to get more afterwards to cover everything. So, but that's all that they really had left was that, or that, like, I forget what the name of it is, but anybody who's ever had to make gluten-free probably knows the full name. It's like the picture of the old white guy on it with the hat. I think it's like Arthur Miller flour or something like that. They do a lot of organic flour substitutes and stuff like that. That stuff was 16 ounces or about 1 pound. And that, so I would really only get like 2-ish cups out of that. That stuff was like $10 just for that. So yeah, I spent like $25 on the almond flour. Thankfully, I already had the eggs and everything else that I need to make the cookies. I have all the sugars and whatnot. But, oh, it hurts so bad. But, labor of love and whatnot, sacrifice of the holidays. I am also now very, very, very much broke after all of the holiday spending I have done. Hopefully I'll get, like, I know, you know, you never want to hope for people just giving you money, but part of me kind of does because that's how I get back some things I lose through the holiday season. Okay, you know what, I think I'm just going to go ahead and get the bottoms of these tables too, just so I can kind of work my way around all of it. I don't have to go back down on my stomach again later. But, yeah. Sad to say, but I do kind of look forward to any little bits of extra money I can get to keep me afloat after the holidays. Because I love my family, and I love seeing them happy, so I'm willing to make sacrifices and cut back on stuff for a couple of months if it means that I get to give them things that they like for Christmas. And my family's generally not greedy at all. They really would just be they really are the type where when they say, "Hey, we're happy just to have you come and see us for Christmas," they legitimately mean it. I could show up with nothing and they would still be happy, but I've talked before that giving gifts is one of my big is what the way I show my love. It's kind of my love language, even though the love language I like to receive is quality time and appreciation and stuff like that. Words of affirmation in general also do a lot for me too, so I really like it. But yeah, I do it because it makes me happy to see them happy. As cheesy as that probably sounds to everybody, but yeah, I like getting to do this sort of thing every year for them and with them. It's just, that little moment of when you see their face light up and they get really excited, like, "Oh, I love it." It does make me happy. But I also have had years before where I have had a lot of like bills and stuff that happened, and I just wasn't able to afford buying that much. So instead, that was what I called the year of the baked goods, where basically I just made everybody's favorite desserts for them. So, like, for my cousin, I made her some vegan sugar cookies that she really liked. I made those before previously, and she really enjoyed them. And then for my aunt, a I made her a triple chocolate cheesecake where it had basically tiers of chocolate that were done in rings that I added to, and I used it's like you have one level that was just the cream cheese mixture and no chocolate and like some white chocolate, so it was white, and then you basically had increasing concentrations of chocolate that get added on, so you get this cool ring effect to it. And I did all of that in an Oreo crumb crust. And let's see, what else did I make? My sister requested a souffle because she never really gotten to have a souffle before. So I found a really good recipe for a chocolate hazelnut souffle because she likes Nutella. And that was actually my first time making souffle. I was surprised it turned out as well as it did. Though I also almost had a heart attack because I had to for best results I had to prepare it the day of, and I thought I had forgotten the pre-made mixtures I made of everything because I pretty much like took and mixed the dry and wet and some of the wet ingredients like the chocolate mixture for it. I had mixed that stuff ahead of time so that way I could transport it more easily, and then when I got to the house I would just put it all together and cook it for her. But I thought I thought I'd forgotten the stuff for it, and because I couldn't find it, and I was so sad because she had been the one to help me. She was helping as my baking assistant the night before with getting everything ready for everybody else, so that way it would be ready for Christmas and Christmas Eve. And I felt so guilty because she did so much to help me get everything done without having to stay up till after midnight on the 23rd. And I was like, "No, I have to make it for you. I don't want you to be the only one who didn't get something from me." And she kept trying to tell me it was okay, and I was debating about like just it takes a while to get back, but it's like I could spend an hour and a half driving back to my apartment to get it and then come back and make it. Luckily though, I did eventually find it and I calmed down, but that was I was about ready to cry. I was so upset with myself for that. I was like, no, I can't do that to her. I love my sister. I've said it before, I think, but my sister really is one of my best friends. She's always been like my biggest cheerleader, my biggest hype girl, and all that. And she does a lot to help me out. Like, if I am ever in a pinch and I need help with something, she's always like the first one to volunteer and help me out with it. And I just wanted to thank her and show her I appreciated her, which is why I freaked out as bad as I did for that. And she would have been perfectly fine just like waiting until the next time we were able to hang out and then I would make it for her, but like I said, I was you ever have like one of those moments where you feel like you've messed up something insurmountably bad, even though it's the tiniest little possible thing it possibly could have been that you messed up, but your brain just tells you you are horrible, you have done the thing that cannot be forgiven, and all that. Let's see, let's go ahead and finish up this roof. Because I feel like once I get that done, I can stop staring up at the ceiling constantly. That'll be nice. Yeah, what else did I make that year? I'm trying to remember. I think I made carrot cake for my dad because I mentioned in other videos that that's his favorite kind of cake, and he says my carrot cake is his favorite. So I make it every year for his birthday, and he requested an extra for Christmas that year. And there's actually been years before where he straight up told me, if you don't get me anything else, I'm perfectly happy. Just make me carrot cake, and then that can be my Christmas present. And then I made Mom flan that year as well for her Christmas gift. And let's see, my grandmother, I made her some dark chocolate truffles because she really likes dark chocolate. And I'm trying to remember what I made for my partner that year. Oh, it's a nice little painting of the reindeer. But I think I either made him... I think I mentioned earlier that he doesn't like raisins, which is why my dad and I make him and his dad a batch of cookies without raisins. Those spice molasses cookies I was talking about. But I think I made him some chocolate chunk oatmeal cookies. Because he still likes oatmeal cookies, he just doesn't like oatmeal raisin. Okay, there we go. This is where the roof gets a little bit awkward to navigate. And I think that's like the bulk of what I did that year as far as Christmas gifts went. But yeah, that at least was still something I felt like I could do. Like, I still had to, of course, spend money on that, but it was a more reasonable amount versus what it would have cost me if I'd had to actually buy everybody regular gifts. And, it still made them all happy. And I was glad I got to at least do something even when I couldn't really afford it. I think that's most of... what am I missing up on that beam? I was gonna say, I think that's most of the ceiling done. Let me see what's up with this last beam. That's... there it is. What about you guys? Any particular, any go-to presents or places you shop for your friends or family for the holidays? Again, it doesn't even have to really be just Christmas. It could be if you buy anybody gifts for Hanukkah, if you just buy presents because it's that time of year and you like spoiling people, or maybe even for birthdays and whatnot. let me know in the comments if there's anything in particular that you always get somebody for Christmas or holidays, and because when I'm actually shopping for holiday stuff, I think I'll go ahead and knock out the floor since I've gotten a good portion of it done at this point. But yeah, I'll say that my usual things I tend to get for my family is my cousin. I'm pretty straightforward with. We'll actually text each other before Christmas to be like, hey, any ideas, anything that you or your family might want? Oh yeah, we want this, this, and they like this, and this. I like this and this. What about you guys? But so she's pretty easy to shop for. I also know a couple of things that I can get for her husband because I got him stuff. He's been coming to Christmas for a couple of years now, so I've started asking about like stuff he enjoys. So Lego sets, Gundams, video games, pretty easy stuff that I can get good ideas for what's a good thing to get for him at this point. And then for my cousin, like I said, she'll kind of tell me if there's anything she's interested in. This year, because she and her husband just got married and they have they also got his husband gave not his husband's dad gifted them a house, which is part of the reason why they got married a little bit sooner than they originally intended. They were gonna kind of have a long engagement, live together for a while first, but you know, they were still getting married was always part of the plan. It wasn't like this wasn't a shotgun wedding or anything by any means. But yeah, his dad gifted them a house, and that was something that she didn't want to go into without being married first. So they just moved up their wedding date. But he's been coming to Christmas for a while now, so he was pretty much already part of the family at this point. One of those long-term boyfriends that you knew they were going to get married eventually when they felt like the timing is right. They both wanted, the big thing for both of them was they wanted to finish college first and get actual, you know, like full career jobs, which understandable. But yeah, they both graduated from college and they both got jobs at this point, so it moved the date up a little bit sooner than they were intending, but they still had a good wedding, and I'm happy for them that they got to have what they wanted. As for my sister, she's pretty easy to shop for, honestly. She loves Pokemon, she loves stuffed animals, Care Bears. There's a lot of anime that she likes. Demon Slayer is one that she really enjoyed, and she got my mom into it as well. The two of them like to watch anime together in the evenings before bed. They usually watch at least one episode of something. I think the big one they were on recently, they watched through Dr. Stone, and they got caught up on all that. And she got my mom into Spy Family, so they've been having a good time with that one. And then my mom's also relatively easy to shop for, a little bit less easy than my sister, who would be happy just with like a giant stuffed animal or anything Pokemon related would usually make her happy. But general, my mom, she likes, let's see, my sister, like I said, has gotten her into a few different anime that she's really been enjoying. My mom also, she loves Tinkerbell stuff, so anytime I can get her anything with Tinkerbell is nice. She also is really into the Mandalorian, that Disney Plus show with the one that for the longest time everybody was calling Baby Yoda, but was basically just like a baby of that same species as Yoda. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Got everything in the corner here, I think. And she also, like, a lot of older stuff she was really into back when it was first airing and all that. She really likes Voltron is a big one for her. So she also really likes Lord of the Rings. So any of that stuff I can get for her is usually a win. I remember one year, one of the best gifts I got her that I actually was really proud of how I pulled it off was I got her a big, like, basically a cooler bag, like a freezer bag with the Mandalorian character I was just talking about, the little baby Yoda, Grogu, I think his name is, or something. I don't, yeah, don't crucify me. I don't know. I don't really watch it. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I basically got her a big cooler bag for that. But then, to her surprise, when she opened up the bag, because I wrapped the bag so she couldn't see inside of it. When she eventually opened it, and then she realized there was another present that I had hidden inside of the bag. And I had basically I got her a secondary gift of a really, really nice Mandalorian lunchbox. Or it was one of those really, really good Loungefly ones where it has multiple levels to it that are like separate compartments. It comes with a little included utensil set. And yeah, I managed to wrap that one up inside of the cooler bag, so she had to pull that out and then unwrap another present. My dad found it fitting because my mom is kind of the master of wrapping based pranks. One of their favorite Christmas stories was my dad. Let's just preface this by saying he's a little bit difficult to shop for, in that he's the type of person where if he wants something, he'll typically just buy it himself. Especially now that he's really gotten into online shopping. So if he wants something, he'll just buy it with his own money. And it makes it very annoying for the rest of us because he doesn't stop doing this even around the holidays. So we all kind of have to just make guesses about what he might like. And he is... there we go. Try to make sure I got all of the parts of the chair. Okay, I think that's all of it. But yeah, we kind of have to just make guesses on what we think he would like based on his interests, and it's always kind of hit or miss with him. There. And... but yeah, he will sometimes tell us if there's something that he really wants, and with him, it's usually something extremely practical. He is not the fun and whimsy sort of person when it comes to gifts or presents. He's very much get somebody something that has a use to it, or at least something that they could find a way to be useful. Not to say he doesn't still give thoughtful gifts. He still puts a lot of thought into it. Like, he gets me different baking things. Like I mentioned to him one year while we were making those spiced molasses cookies that my cookie scoop that I had, it broke, where it couldn't fully release anymore because the hinges were messed up. Or not the hinge, but like the little, if you've ever seen a cookie scoop or an ice cream scoop that has the little ear part of it, where that's how it releases, yeah, that part got messed up on mine. So it couldn't fully release a scoop for a cookie anymore. And definitely makes it hard when you bake as much as I do not to have a functioning cookie scoop. It's still possible, it just is a lot more extra work. But yeah, I told him that, and then he, for Christmas, got me a really nice three-piece cookie scoop set where it's got a small cookie scoop, medium cookie scoop, and then a really large one. And I really liked it. There's one size I use more than others. I think it's like the medium-sized one. But yeah, that was a really thoughtful gift and very much in line with him being the very practical person in the family who likes to give gifts that people will actually use. Now, then there's now that I kind of have the baseline for him established, my mom. One year, my dad told her the only thing he wanted for Christmas was this 200-piece tool set. He didn't want anything else. He wouldn't give her any of the ideas. He's like, nah, just give me the tool set. That's all I want. But my mom thought that would just be so boring to put under the tree because he would see it and immediately know what it was. So instead, what she did, because my mom is a troll, I have learned much from my mother, the troll queen. She basically took each and every single tool and wrapped them individually. I need to switch this stubby gun real quick. But yeah, she wrapped each one individually, including the box that everything, like the case that all of them sit in. And so my dad is coming down Christmas morning, expecting, like, you know, one big box under the tree. Instead, he still finds one pretty big box, and then countless other presents. And after a while of opening, like, a single wrench, a single screwdriver, one bit from the screwdriver set, he, like, after a while of doing that, he looks at my mom and asks her, how many presents are under this tree? 201. And he goes, God dang it. Yeah, he should have learned what he was getting into with that one. But yeah, my mom is really good at wrapping too. My grandmother used to have a job as like one of those ladies in the mall who wrapped presents back when that was more of a common thing. You don't really see that anymore in the malls unless you go to like one of those really, really bougie high-end ones, but it used to be a lot more common. You'll see it in some older Christmas movies. You'll have like the gift wrapping station where you could pay people to wrap your presents for you. And my grandmother did that for a while, so she was really good at it, and she taught my mom a lot of tricks. Or when my mom would go with her sometimes and just kind of tag along at the mall because I didn't really have great childcare back then. But my mom would kind of tag along and watch what was being done, and she learned a lot of really cool tricks. So my mom can... Sorry, I accidentally clicked down for a sec there. But yeah, my mom can wrap just about anything you put in front of her. Even if it seems ridiculously difficult or like it might be impossible to get wrapping paper around it, she finds a way to do it. Not only that, she does it in such a way that it looks professionally done. And she's even really, like, there are those, like, memes and trends and videos and all that of wrapping this present to make it look like this other present. Nah, my mom was doing that long before that was a trend. She's always been able to do that really well. She could wrap up a video game so well that, and maybe put some like extra tissue paper or something in it, that you would think it's a pack of socks or something, and then you get the really awesome surprise of like, oh no way, it's a video game. So yeah, I have learned long ago not to underestimate her powers when it comes to these things. She is the supreme when it comes to gift wrapping. And I have learned not all of her secrets, but I have become pretty proficient at gift wrapping because of her. The most difficult thing is sometimes, though, is still stuffed animals. They can be a little bit of a pain. Come on. What? There we go. Just want to go ahead and get that bauble done. Let's see, almost done with the floors. But, yeah, my mom's pretty clever like that, so even if you tell her what it is that you want for Christmas, and you kind of ruin the surprise, she'll still find a way to make it really fun and really entertaining for you, herself, and everybody else involved. I think that's a special little treat in and of itself, is getting to have fun, not just with the gift, but how you get the gift, you know? She makes every part of the experience a blast. Oh yeah, and I just thought of something else that's kind of a tradition in my family when it comes to Christmas. My sister loves to collect or hold on to the bows from like the little shiny bows on the presents. And even if she doesn't keep them, like if she gives them back eventually or puts them away somewhere eventually, but she just loves the bows. We call her the bow collector because every year, whether it's at my aunt's place for Christmas Eve or at our house on Christmas Day, whenever we unwrap presents, we all toss the bows to Katie. And she has her little bow collection that goes on. And we actually save and reuse the bows for a really long time because honestly, if you're decently careful with them, like you're not just ripping them off haphazardly, then they'll last for years. We have some bows that get reused every year. You just kind of put a little roll of tape underneath it. But yeah, we have bows that get reused pretty much every year at this point. And we've had some of those and that have been around since even before my sister and I can remember. So honestly, decades at this point. And I don't know whether that's just a thing about my family being careful with the bows or if it's just that they're not that fragile. But yeah, it's oh, my light just went out. I think it ran out of power. Whoops. Sorry if I look a little bit weird. Probably should be ending the video pretty soon anyway. This one got kind of long. But yeah, so my sister collects the bows. I'll at least finish up the floor. There we go. Alright, so that's the workshop floor, and let me go ahead and get this part of the floor too. What am I missing on this part? Ah. Over that way, I saw a little something. But yeah, just little Christmas traditions that we have. I was really hoping to be able to finish up this whole level, but I forgot how long this one kind of is. So I might make this a two-parter, maybe do an after Christmas special. Ah, here we go. Here's some more stuff that I missed earlier. Thought I got all this when I came through here before, but it looks like I missed a little bit. But yeah, maybe we'll do this as a two-parter and do another video, like an after Christmas cleanup sort of special. And if that video doesn't have enough time with Santa's Workshop, then there's another winter level that's like an ice rink, I think it is, from the first game, and I'll probably do that one too. I'm just trying to find this one last little spot on the floor, and it's bugging me. Nah, where is it? What am I missing on the floor? There's a little bit there. Come on, give me something else. Ah, darn it. It didn't say my color preference. I think I actually changed this to pink at one point, so that way, one, matched my colors a little bit easier, but too, it also made it easier to see any grime, especially on wooden floors like these. Let's see, anything else over here? Anything around the edges? A little bit around the edge there. I at least want to get the floors done, so next time I come in and play this, we can focus on, like, the bigger stuff. Anything on this side? Nope. Come on, give me one more spot to clean on this floor. Anything. I'll take any little thing that is dirty on this floor to clean. Please. Nope, not anything hiding back there. Maybe I just need to, like, blast the edge around the present a little bit. Nope, darn it. Okay. I don't know what else I could be missing on the floor, but we'll have to wait and figure that out. Figure that out next time. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great holiday or stay-at-home day, whatever you end up doing. And thanks so much for watching and being here with me for the holidays. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Aw, game over already? Don't worry, there's always more fun to be had later. If you enjoyed your stay, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for visiting Arya's Arcade. Bye-bye!